maybe you kind of surprised that you're still here at this point? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, were you kind of expecting to be back in junior yet, or did you think about it at all?
Not really. I mean, I don't have too many expectations. Kind of just wanted to go and play hockey and see where that takes me.
What have you taken away from these exhibition games so far?
I mean, I think just the pace of the game. Obviously, everyone's a lot faster and things happen a lot faster out there, so that's probably the biggest difference.
What kind of feedback do you get from the coaching staff?
I mean, just little things like positionally and within our structure, they just kind of try to help me out, but at the same time, I think they just want me to kind of play my game and be confident up there.
Derek's talked a couple times about the poise you have with the puck. I take that's always been one of your strengths, and just how much more of a challenge was that when you're coming up to this level, playing against faster players and having to make quicker decisions?
Yeah, that's kind of how I've always been, is poised with the puck. So, I mean, it's obviously a bit different out here and things happen a lot quicker, but I still wanted to keep that in my game, and I think that's something that makes me successful. So, I think just trying to play confident and just play how I play is the biggest thing.
There's so many veteran centers on this team. What are you taking away from them, their habits or style of play? Are you taking anything away from them?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think in practice, it's a big thing, just getting to watch them, and I like to pick their brain a little bit and just ask them for little tips and stuff like that, whether it's face-offs or just little tendencies that they might have.
Derek just talked about kind of the using video with guys and everything. I'm curious for you, obviously your on-ice experience is a big part, but what are the things that you in your game, how do you use kind of video to tweak and improve your game, things like that?
I mean, I think just sort of watch the video, and I think it's mostly just positionally and getting the spots quicker and just things like that. And I mean, I think that's the biggest thing that they kind of help me with, is just positionally trying to be in the right spots and just getting there a bit quicker.
Do you like to watch your shift? Like some guys like to grab the iPad and watch their shifts during the game, or do you like to watch it mid games? It's not like pretty as far as.
Not as much mid game, at least yet. I mean, I like to watch it after the game and like the next day or whatever, but I haven't really been watching them too much mid game.
Is that something that, I mean, it's available at the NHL. Was that something you even could do in a WHL game?
I think we have it, yeah. I don't know, I just have never done it.
Okay.
Have you had time to do anything else during your time in Detroit, or does that cover the LCA? Or?
Not a whole lot. I mean, before, I don't remember what it was, but I went to a Lions preseason game, which was pretty fun. And then once camp got going, it's been pretty busy here, so haven't got up to too much.
You've gone back and watched your shifts after these games. Obviously, you've had pretty good games here. Have you had like a moment that's like, hey, I look pretty good out here?
Not really. I mean, when I watch my shifts, it's kind of more of a improvement thing, and I'm trying to see what I can do better and how I can improve, and so that's mostly what I'm watching for.
What stood out to you? What are the things that you'd like to improve on?
I think just playing a bit quicker, just getting the spots quicker, and just seeing where I could have been on the ice instead to maybe get a different chance, or in the defensive zone where I could have been to maybe stop and play a bit quicker.
Have you gotten a chance in games? I know you didn't play against Crosby, Penguins are here, but any players that you kind of on the ice and kind of almost like a wow moment, like I'm playing against this guy who I grew up following, or anything like that?
There hasn't been too many guys yet. I think one was Corey Perry last game. Obviously, he's someone who's been around for a long time, so to actually see him on the ice was pretty cool.
You trash talk you at all, or?
No, nothing yet.
Are your Brandon guys calling you every day, kind of like, hey, when are you coming back, or are you coming back, or anything like that?
Yeah, they text me pretty often, and I like to text them and keep up with how they're doing and how things are going there. So we've been talking quite a lot, and yeah.
What's kind of the expectation for that team this year?
I think we should have a good team. We got off to a pretty good start here, so I think we go on our U.S. road trip like next week, so we've been doing pretty good so far.
What has been the one thing in the NHL games that has surprised you the most, if anything at all?
I mean, probably just the speed. I think everyone's stronger too, which is definitely different than battling up against guys. A lot of them have a bit more weight than I do, so I think that's probably the biggest difference.
Do you find yourself often comparing notes with guys like Marco or Amadeus who are, a roughly similar spot in their development? And if so, what does that look like?
Say that again, sorry?
Do you find yourself often comparing notes with guys like Marco or Amadeus who are in sort of a similar spot in their development? And if so, what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, me, Marco, and Amadeus, we all look pretty close, and we've been able to hang out together quite a bit. So, I mean, whenever one of us needs help or anything like that, we kind of bounce stuff off each other and just see how each other are doing.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
What's been the vibe in camp here so far? It seems with all the new faces, there's like a lot of optimism, it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. I think everybody's just excited. I think obviously we got lots of new faces. So I think that Traverse City part of the training camp was awesome. I think getting to know the guys again, and getting to spend a lot of time. I think that helped a lot. But honestly, it doesn't feel like it. I think we're getting together as a team pretty well. I think guys are having fun, and like I said, I think everybody's just excited to get started.
Just when you look at this defense, just one thing that stand out is that in addition to the depth, it seems like you've got like a little bit of everything. You've got a good balance of left and right shooters. You got some offensive guys, some defensive guys, veterans, a couple younger guys. So just talk about the makeup of the defense.
Yeah, I think you said that. We have a lot of depth, but I think we have lots of D-men who can play in this league. I think that's an awesome part. Having that in a long season like this is awesome. I think having a little bit of competition as well. Everybody thrives on it, but at the same time, I think just trying to get together with your partners, just trying to see who fits with who. That's been great. Obviously, playing with different guys most of the time. So that's been really the emphasis for the camp.
In the division that you guys play in, obviously there's not many easy nights and a lot of good teams. Do you see, especially as Boston loses a couple guys, do you see an opportunity in the division to take a step forward or two this year?
I think so. I think the goal is to do that. I think last year we're close. We're close at like halfway, a little bit, a couple 20 games left of the season, but I don't think we had enough, and that's like, I think that's that kind of stung a little bit. I think everybody wanted to make it to the playoffs, and we just weren't good enough last season. I think this season, like the additions we got, the depth we have up front back there with us too, like it's going to help us. And I think like I said, everybody's just excited to get started and see what we've got.
Where can this team be better this year than they were last year?
I think we can defend better. I think that's a big part. I think we can take control of the games better. We have lots of skill. We added more skill to the line, but I think playing with the puck and playing the offensive zone. And I think last year showed when we were on our best, like we're really hard to play against. We're relentless. We're a fast team that doesn't give a lot of time or space. So I think that's a big thing, being tough to play against day in, day out. Just the consistency. Because through 82 games, you're gonna have bad games, you're gonna have good games, you're gonna have some bad luck, good luck. But if you have that consistency, more games than not, you're gonna win.
What kind of going into year two of Newsy's system? What are some of the things? Is it easier kind of with him going into year two? What are some of the things that are kind of comfort level already, having had year one with him last year?
Yeah, I think there's lots of that comfort level. I think coming in, everything's not new. That's a big part. We could start, it felt like right off the bat, we could start from where we left off, build on that. I think that's a big part. Obviously we have some guys who haven't played it, but there's nothing crazy about it. It's pretty, it doesn't change the way you play hockey really. It's just little emphasis, knowing where everybody is, getting on the same page.
Is it nice for you? You spent, I know there's 2 years I think in LA for you, but you're kind of it was back to kind of a normal schedule. It's the first time you've been going into year 2 with the team with a normal schedule after all the COVID stuff and everything. Is it a nice spot for you to be, just kind of have that comfort level for you personally right now?
I think so. Yeah. But at the same time, I think, like everybody, I think I want to have a better season as I did last year. Not to say it was a bad one, but personally, but like I think I got more. I think everybody has a little better, and I think that's been what I've been focusing on this summer. Just trying to improve my game, trying to have a little more so we can make that push.
For us watching, what are the things that we would see? For you to hit that more, what are the things that we would watch for?
Well, I think a little more, still be a little more effective offensively. I think helping our forwards create offense. I think little things in the game when you're breaking out the puck. That's always a huge part about D-men's game. When you look at the top D-men in the league, that's what they do really well. They get out of their own zone, and that's why they get a lot of points because they play in offensive zone.
You signed the extension in season last year. What were the things that made you want to stick around for 2 more years?
Well, I think that the team and obviously we're a very, very young team, but I think we showed we're going in the right direction. I think just inside the locker room, how everybody wanted to win. There wasn't really, nobody was giving up at any point. That everybody wants to win all the time. That's a big part. I think they're building the culture the right way. And obviously knowing that where this team wants to be, and I want to be part of it.
I remember right around the time that you guys kind of made that push last spring, it seemed like you guys had talked about kind of the locker room gelling more and going on. You feel like you just picked up kind of right where you left off to start this time, or is that happening every year with the team?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was really easy to come in. I think everybody was happy to see each other. I'm just excited to get going. I think the older guys here, we have DP, Larks, I think Copper, Rass, the leader group, Benny, like those guys. Just like, it doesn't matter if it was summer skates or what it was. I think to compete on the ice was always there. I think the level of practice, it's been great, even through the training camp. I think that's a big part, just building that culture, that having good practices, and at the same time whenever we play, like those guys lead the group, and everybody kind of just follows. And I think we got more of a veteran group now than we did last year, and that's with the additions we've had, I think that shows quite a bit.
Well, with the additions and that last year, you guys took a pretty significant step in the PK under Lutner. You see even more room for improvement there?
Yeah, I think so. I think we want to be effective special teams team. Power play is always a big part. I think power play was pretty good, took good steps, and I think our PK took steps towards a better PK, and I think this year we can be even better. If you wanna win, you look at the top teams in the league. Like I think special teams is a huge part.
Derek's talked a lot about Billy going into this year as kind of a true number one. I'm curious, as a defenseman, someone who knows him a little bit, what do you see about Billy's demeanor that makes him kind of one of those guys that can be more of a play 55 to 60 games as a goalie in the NHL?
Well, I think he doesn't let too much bother him, which is huge for goalies. I think he's mentally he's really focused. I think he works on his game, think about his game all the time, but at the same time, like, bad stuff happens, good stuff happens, but he seems pretty even keel. And I think, sure, that's a big part of being a goalie. And I think that's just a trust we have to him. I think he showed last year how good he is, and he can do it. There was lots of games he gave us a chance to win, and lots of games he won us the game. And I think we have lots of trust in him.
He seems to have kind of that calm demeanor too. I mean, like from what we see on a game day and everything like that, he's not, for lack of a better word, all high-strung and everything like that. Does that help for the defenseman too? Yeah,
I think so. I think seeing him kind of calm, relaxed, like knowing almost that calm confidence. I think that just shows like he's on his game, and it gives you a little boost for sure. Just knowing that you can trust him.
Do you sense the competition on defense, Olli? I mean, you guys got 7, 8, 9, whatever quality NHL defensemen. I mean, do you sense that every day at practice and all that, just competition?
In a good way, yeah. I think the games it shows more, and I think that's a good part. I don't think there's bad blood at all. I think guys want to show what they got, and I think it's just like coach other guys, but they had their day. We're in this together, and I think everybody just wants to win. Whoever's going to make the difference.
Thank you.
Thanks, Olli.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you.
How are you holding up? You're in your
Good. Yeah, no, it's good. Quick little 3-3 on the road again. Hasn't actually been that bad.
Take you back to your minor league days or what?
No, we don't do this in the minor league. No. It's just a unique schedule. You practice twice and then you fly. But it's all part of. You get the two teams going. It's preseason. That's the way it is.
Nate Danielson, did you have a plan for how many games you wanted to see him going in, or has his play earned more?
Earned. It's a good question because earned. We were going to play him in the first game and kind of go from there. And obviously finds himself in Game 7 this late in the exhibition. Just every minute he gets, I think, is very valuable. So, a really good test tonight for him.
And you're playing him with NHLers? Like,
Yep. He'll be in our top 6 tonight. Complimented with some NHLers, so yes. And at center again. Mostly been at center throughout camp, but we've given him some wing looks just to play in some of those games with some NHLers. But he'll be at center tonight, which is
what do you
exciting.
want from him?
200-foot game, smart. He's good in all areas. And again, I know I've mentioned this, probably a little more offense and a little more poise with the puck than I had anticipated.
Are some of these 18 and 19-year-olds just further ahead nowadays than maybe when you started or whatnot?
That's a great question. I think skill-wise, absolutely. I mean, you see some of these guys, what they come in. I just think that's probably today's development, a lot of that individual skill work and what guys do in the off season.
The 12-month-a-year thing you were talking.
Yeah, 100%. I know the skills coach back in the day just talked about a lot of those NHL stars were just north downhill type skill, which is phenomenal. But now the skill of these guys today is just this ridiculous east-west type skill set. But it's actually impressive. But as far as being NHL ready, I still think it takes a really special young player. So maybe a little bit more on the skill side, but I don't know about the whole overall game.
When you talk about more offense than you maybe expected, where's that shown up in? Is it the skill? Is it vision? Is it
both and poise? You can just see him not rushing plays. He'll hold onto a puck, protect it, let a play develop. That stuff usually takes time. Usually takes some development, some video. You put him in those situations, but he's got a good knack for it.
Do you anticipate playing him Saturday as well?
Don't know yet. We'll get through tonight, and then we'll see where we're at for Saturday. Saturday will probably be more of a dry run on what we expect is close to what our NHL team will be for next Thursday. But we still may use Saturday as a one last look if some guys are on that bubble, if you will.
Who's in goal tonight?
Alex Lyon will play all 60. So we've kind of got our top goalies getting a rhythm with obviously Reimer playing all 60 last night. He played very well. Lyon will play tonight and Billy will play all 60 on Saturday.
What have you seen from Reimer or Lyon just in preseason here as far as
consistent, stopping the puck, good practice habits. Both have come as advertised when I was told we were signing these guys in summer.
I mean, not to compare or contrast or anything, but as far as Nate, and then what have you felt about Marco's camp? Is he where he should be, or?
It's just a little different. It's just, I think adjusting to North America hockey is a little bit different. And there's nothing wrong. I think there's some different time and space where he probably played last year, which I don't mind, especially for skill development. But you can see even that he has a tendency to want to slow plays down, want to regroup pucks. I mean, the turnover ended up in the back of our net the other night. He tried a behind the back through his legs pass to the D for a regroup. which obviously you don't see very often and is a no-no in our league, but it's probably a common play with the bigger ice to regroup. So I just think it's a little bit of an adjustment. He's even self-admitted that, watching some one-on-one video. So I think every game he's progressively gotten better, which is a good sign too.
Copper has said he's felt more comfortable now that he's got this ramp up to the regular season in opposition last year. Do you see that from him?
Yeah, it's a good off season. I mean, obviously not having a training camp at all last year, and he's a guy that's today's pro. He trains extremely hard in the summer, so yeah, he's physically in a good spot, and again, he'll get one more game to get his game in order on Saturday too.
With Alex, how much do you guys, kind of your confidence level kind of go up as a potential for this team when you look at what he did with Florida? Kind
Yeah, of course. Yeah, man, he gets the vision of signing him. Again, that goaltender depth is something that hurt us a little bit last year. We've addressed that.
With Justin Hall, what have you seen from him that you've liked so far? And I'm also curious about specifically on the penalty kill.
Yeah, that's his go-to, the penalty kill. He's steady back there. We just want him to defend, make simple plays, not play out of himself. And he's committed to the penalty kill. He's got good instincts on it. He'll eat a puck, which I think is not a very overlooked skill, willingness to do, especially in the penalty kill.
You mentioned shot blocking. What other sort of habits are you looking for from your guys on the PK?
This running the system correctly, getting 200-foot clears, hitting those pressure points when need be. We had a really good penalty kill game in Chicago. We're tied late and they blow up a coverage and they panicked and obviously gave up a 2-on-0 at the net, which is obviously not good. So I just think that, and consistency, willingness. Penalty kill is very important. The coach told me a few years ago, it really stuck with me. You can be successful without your power play for stretches, and that's been proven. Teams will go dry with their power play and still find ways to win hot games, but you have no chance if you really struggle in your penalty kill.
What did you think about last night? I mean, basically, you're playing Wilkes-Barre, essentially. I mean,
Yeah.
What did you think? I mean,
It's tough. Those are guys, we had two non-NHL lines in there too, some young D. You worry, you just want to get your process going. So I liked it. I liked that we got emotionally engaged and found a way to win in the third. Unfortunately, I probably there was a little questionable, I didn't like, it wasn't awful, but there was a kind of a side swipe kind of hit from behind where a guy was targeting a head there, and it actually got our guys going, and it's just a reminder, I don't care who you play, you have to be emotionally engaged to be successful. So, again, winning and losing, of course you want to win. I just talked about being emotionally engaged and having to win, but it's really tough to read sometimes when you think about outcome in the preseason. We're 4-2. We've won the 4 games in which we've had more NHL experienced players, and the 2 games we lost were games in which the opponents had more NHL ready players. So it's the outcomes are just a part of it.
Health-wise, other than Mazur and Luff, is everybody available?
Yes. Yep. Everyone's available. Yep.
Is there anything you attribute the penalties to for Edmondson the last couple games he's been in?
Yeah, probably. That's probably that part of development. He's a big, lanky guy. When he gets sticks and arms involved, even he was very nonchalant in that neutral zone interference, where he simply could have avoided that, but he's taking a more aggressive, better route. That's part of his development. He's so poised and so calm in his play. He puts himself in those situations where it was a simple play, a little chip in behind his feet, and instead of having some urge to go back to it, he kind of slow played it, and the guy was beating him to the spot, and he got in his way, which was the interference call. So I do think that's part of his growth and development too, all the time, not some of the time.
What does a conversation like that look like with a player who's developing, like Simon Edmondson?
Yeah, great question, and that's everyday video. And to Simon's credit, that's what he wants. Our guys and Bob Bugner Jay Verdi, Alex Tanguay, we have a routine where they daily go spend time with them on video. But Simon shows up. Like, it's taboo to go to the coach's office when we're meeting. But he'll knock on the door and he'll look around and he's like, is Bob here? And that's first thing in the morning. So credit to him. He wants that feedback. He still wants to learn. So, that's the typical process. You watch and learn and continually grow.
You notice with young guys, younger guys now, kind of, they've in our generation that's grown up with video.
Yes.
And what are kind of the ways you can use it as a benefit? And I'm sure there's sometimes where it can be too much. Like, how do you find that balance?
Well, I think you talk about the new player. I look at it. They're an instant feedback generation, which is reality. It's not upsetting. You guys see it. A kid will come back to the bench, and he immediately needs the iPad. 5 guys looking for an iPad immediately, and they're not even watching what's going on the ice. And I don't mind it. It's reality of it. You're always correcting and learning, but at the same time, I think there can be a balance in it. You just have a trust in the process, and that when you come in the office the next day. Today's NHL, you're literally probably going to watch every shift with one of the coaches. So I think there's a balance of. It's an instant feedback athlete today, which is real. But just kind of having that balance of not being too much.
And when it comes to showing guys, you said watching every shift, but like if you're trying to get a certain concept to a young guy or something like that, how do you kind of find the balance of show them 4 or 5 clips and not 15 or 20? Like, what's kind of the balance so it sticks?
Well, I think each individual has certain things to work on and grow. So you hit on those things, you're growing. A couple positives, a couple negatives. You don't. I think there is a purpose to what you're showing. So I think it's balance of just again. I think that's today's athlete of having instant feedback, but not a large attention span. So is 25, 30 clips valuable? I don't know. There's a sweet spot in there. I think you get a feel for the individual who you're dealing with.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ed.